You're watching Dark Truth, where reality hides its secrets. Subscribe now, because once you hear the truth, there's no turning back. Imagine waking up one morning, and your entire family is gone. No goodbye, no message, no phones, no money, just a car speeding down a rural highway, leaving behind everything. This isn't fiction. It's one of the strangest real-life mysteries in Australia's history. The case of the Trump family, who, in August 2016, left their home without warning and vanished into the wilderness. What could drive a family, stable, successful, loved, to flee their lives overnight? What did they believe was chasing them? And why, when they were found, did none of them seem to remember what had happened? This is the disappearing family, the unsolved Trump mystery. Sylvan, Victoria, a small, green town east of Melbourne. Population, just a few thousand. A quiet community built on hard work, farms, and family businesses. Here live the Trumps, Mark, Jacoba, and their 3 adult children, Rihanna, Mitchell, and Ella. They owned a berry farm. Locals knew them as private but respectable. No debts, no enemies, no record of illness or trouble. But on the morning of August 29th, 2016, everything changed. The entire family got into their silver Peugeot SUV and drove away, leaving behind their phones, their credit cards, and their passports. Their house was left unlocked, phones still charging on the counter, keys in the door. It looked like they'd stepped out for a moment and never came back. As the SUV headed north, the Trump said nothing to neighbors or friends. No goodbye, no explanation. Times. At first, it looked like an innocent family trip. But inside that car, paranoia was growing. Mark and Jacoba whispered about being followed, watched, hunted. They can track us, Mark said. They can hear us. Within hours, the Trumps threw away their phones, one by one, out the window. Only Mitchell refused. That night, he quietly slipped away, boarded a train back to Melbourne, and told no one what had happened. When he arrived home, police were already waiting. His family had been reported missing. The next morning, reports came in. The Trump's SUV had been spotted hundreds of kilometers away. The rest of the family was still on the run. For the next 2 days, the Trumps zigzagged across Australia, from Melbourne's outskirts to the remote countryside, driving aimlessly, changing directions, avoiding cities and cameras. Police began searching. News channels aired the story. 5 people vanished. No ransom, no crime scene. Inside that SUV, tension turned to panic. Mark believed strangers were following them. He told the family to split up, to stay safe. The daughters, Rihanna and Ella, obeyed, reluctantly. They took another car and left their parents behind, heading toward Goulburn. By then, the pressure was unbearable. Rihanna broke down, shaking, crying, disoriented. A passing driver found her and called police. She was hospitalized for mental exhaustion. Ella was detained briefly for stealing a vehicle, but released without charges. Meanwhile, back on the road, Mark and Jacoba kept running. No phones, no plan, no clear destination. Investigators realized something chilling. Whatever had driven them to flee wasn't physical. It was psychological. A fear so powerful it fractured an entire family's reality. But no one could yet explain why. By the 3rd day, the Trump family was completely scattered across the country. Mitchell, safe at home. Rihanna, hospitalized. Ella, questioned by police. But the parents, Mark and Jacoba, missing in the wilderness. Authorities launched one of the largest searches in Victorian history. Helicopters, drones, ground teams. They combed through forests, farmlands, rivers. Nothing. Days later, a farmer reported something unusual. A man walking aimlessly along a dirt road, covered in dust, eyes vacant. It was Mark Trump. He said only one sentence. I just want to go home. He was taken in for evaluation, confused, exhausted, dehydrated. Meanwhile, Jacoba was found near a town called Yass, trembling, terrified, unable to explain where she'd been. When asked why they ran, both gave vague, inconsistent answers. They said they believed someone was after them, but couldn't say who or why. 5 days after they vanished, all 5 members of the Trump family were finally found alive. But something about them was profoundly different. It was as if they had lived through a nightmare together. When police questioned the family, they were baffled. There were no threats, no evidence of cult activity, no sign of drug use or foul play. The official theory became what psychologists call shared delusional disorder, or in this case, folia famile, a madness shared by a group. It starts with one person, often a dominant figure, experiencing delusional thoughts. Through stress, isolation, or paranoia, that belief spreads to others, until the whole group begins to see danger that isn't there. Investigators believe Mark Trump suffered a brief psychotic break. Convinced their business was being watched or sabotaged, his fear spread to Jacoba, then the children. Mitchell, who resisted, broke free first, but the others followed deeper into the delusion, until they couldn't tell what was real anymore. Yet, not everyone buys that explanation. Some locals whispered that strange government vehicles were parked near the Trump farm days before the disappearance. Others claimed the family's new bearer processing equipment used radio frequencies that interfered with electronics. On online forums, the story grew darker. Were the Trumps victims of an experiment, or did they stumble onto something they shouldn't have seen? No proof ever surfaced, but no one can explain how 5 healthy adults suddenly abandoned reality in perfect sync. The Trump family eventually returned home. They spoke to no one, gave no interviews, and within months, they vanished from public life completely. The police closed the case. No crime, no charges. But the mystery never left. Was it madness or something more? Maybe it wasn't what they were running from, but what they were running toward. Because sometimes, the human mind isn't the only thing that breaks. Sometimes reality does. And the truth about what happened to the Trumps may never be fully known. This is the dark truth. Fear spreads faster than reason. And once it starts, there's no telling where it ends. What do you think happened to the Trump family? Was it madness or a warning? Tell me your theory in the comments below. And remember, stories like this, you won't find them anywhere else. Times you've just unlocked another dark truth.